get this party started. This video, we are going to talk about it. As Hans and Franz would say, we want to pump you up. If you haven't seen Saturday Night Live, you're not in the same Generation X or something, Z or whatever. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a YouTube, worth a Google, entertaining stuff. Excuse me. But we're going to talk about off-season focus. We're going to talk about strength work because Traverse City people, 70.3, there's some work to be done on those hills on the bike ride. So you don't have that bike strength built up specifically. You could be a hurting unit by the time you hit T2 and you head out there on the run. No matter how flat and beautiful and great the day is, you haven't prepared yourself for that strength that you're going to need out there on the bike course. It's going to be a tough, long day. Chattanooga people talking to you too, a little bit of strength work you can get out there. You're going 70.3, and you're kind of in between. Boulder people, there's some falls flats you need some strength on. A few little climbs here and there, nothing too crazy or anything. Waco, there's not too many climbs out there. The new Memphis course, it's looking to be pretty flat, so we'll get into that a little bit more later on for that event-specific information. But not just talking about the bike, we're talking about the run too and the swim. If you have signed up for the off-season program, which if you're watching this video, Traverse City, 70.3 people, Boulder, anybody else, you should have this built into your program. And you also have it built in, if you use my race-specific plans, you have this stuff built into it, kind of in the pre-competitive phase of the workout sessions. Usually when you start getting into race-specific, you start moving more towards the race speed zones and tempo work and everything. You've already got that strength component kind of built in, so you kind of maintain the strength because you don't want to cause injury to the muscles, micro injuries that you do with strength training to build up over time. Do that up front, do it in the off-season program. That way you don't have to worry about it later. But what we want to talk about for swim, bike, run strength. So this is not your standalone strength programs. This is going to be talking about swim, bike, and run specifically. They're built into the workouts to be specifically to induce adaptations for strength. It's not only about hitting the weights. So it's not about bench press and squats and everything else. It's about doing things on the bike, on the run, and in the water. So at the swim specifically, you're looking at paddles, buoys, and fins. Those drills with all those swim toys, that's where you're working the strength. Those paddles, when you've got more surface area gripping water, you're doing more work than you would just with your open hand. You're hitting the lats, you're hitting your back, you're hitting your shoulders more, doing that work. That's why you don't want to just use paddles all the time necessarily, but in good strength sessions, you'll build up strength with those paddles. So be on the lookout for those. Make sure you have the toys to begin with. If you have any questions, you can go to the triathlon checklist that I have. It's got examples of paddles, buoys, and fins that I use. But buoy work, if you got buoy in, you're not using your feet to kick, so you're using your upper body more, a little bit of strength work. Fins, you have to use a little bit more effort to kick along in the water with your fins on. So there's opportunities to do strength work that's not just going out and hitting the weight room or doing body weight strength work or CrossFit or anything like that. On the bike, get a little bit similar. The hill repeats, that's going to be strength work, man. You're standing on the pedals, you're working them, whether you're doing hill repeats outside or you're doing kind of hill repeats power work. You notice I got some power ramp up intervals. I've got some pull efforts and stuff like that. In the off-season program, you're working that strength. That's really the time. It's lower cadence, it's higher gears. It's really pushing on those pedals and up in the power. So you're doing power work, FTP work. So if you look a little bit here, you got zone 3, zone 4. So you're kind of getting into that FTP work. You got an easy bike right here. You got tempo intervals at 10x3. So for 3 minutes, you're working your FTP 75%, getting to that race level. So over time, that interval gets longer and you're increasing your FTP as you go along. And we talked about testing your zones and doing periodic fitness testing, just make sure that your FTP is going up in the off season, because we don't want to maintain is good, but we don't want to go down. And especially in the off seasons, it's easy just to be like, I'm letting it go and I'm just going to ride my bike here and there. But if you're going to get on your bike, be smart about it, follow the plan, do the work, suffer on that workout. It's less than 60 minutes and it can keep you maintained or it can put you better trajectory for your 2020 goals. Especially now, now's the time to really get in there and really feel what it's like. Like I said, you Traverse City people out there, your races is kind of mid to late August, so you got a little bit of time to work, but you could take this program, you could be doing them now, kind of pick and choose what you want, and then relay the program out to start January 1st. So you got 18 weeks of a good build up to the race specific plan. So make sure you're in there, you're doing your double repeats, your power work, your FTP work. Don't skip out on them. Notice this power ramp up is only an hour and 25 on a weekend. Hey, we're used to doing 3-hour bike rides and 13-mile runs and other stuff at peak. So this should be a cakewalk, not a problem. You're going to suffer a little bit, but time-wise, it's not really time-consuming to really do these workouts and stick to it. The run, same idea. Hill repeats, weight vest work. I have not put that in my program specifically, but it's something I've done. Not very often. You don't want to go out there and do it, but it kind of goes in the mindset of, well, I want to lose weight, so I'm not carrying as much around as do workouts. So if you're doing a run workout, maybe pick kind of a little bit of a shorter workout, maybe a race effort. You don't want to do it for threshold runs. You don't want to do it for your long runs, but maybe something like 45 minutes, under an hour, tempo intervals for the run. So maybe that's an opportunity to kind of throw on a vest for 4 or 5 miles and just kind of do your tempo run sets with a little bit more weight on there. You can put 5 pounds or you can put 10 pounds. I wouldn't go crazy and go out there and put too much stress on the body, but it's an opportunity to add some weight to actually put and do some strength training. Another one is it's kind of plyometric work. It's putting more force down than what you normally would just walking around and doing regular runs. Sprint push-offs. So if you got an interval, you're doing 45 minutes, and then you do 5 sets of just a quick little sprint, for 20 seconds. It's not super intensive. It's not high on energy. It's 85%, 95%. It's really peppy, getting the knees up and doing a good quality run. Just kind of gets that speed work and a little bit of boost to your legs and makes you do a little bit of strength work, especially it's not mixed in there with the long runs. It's just kind of a standalone, doing a nice little zone 2 run. And you get to the end, you throw it in there to kind of shock the body, wake up the muscles, and give a little extra strength work. I wanted to go over these, and I just kind of went through that real quick, and here's a little snippet of the off-season plan. So basically, all this is taken into account. So with your swim, bike, and your runs, there's going to be a strength component to it, there's going to be a tempo component to it, there's going to be a speed component to it, and then there's going to be kind of an aerobic component to it. So this time, we're talking just about the strength work, but in these, it's going to be labeled, you have power, you're going to have long sets. If you're swimming, if you see paddles in there, fins, buoys, that's kind of working your strength work. You'll have technique swims, and then you'll have drills, speed. It's in the title usually of my workouts, kind of what to expect for that workout. I try to time it out so you're not doing speed, or strength, and wearing yourself out. It's a nice time. There's 2 to 3 hard days in there. Sometimes you'll have a bike and a run that's hard mixed on the same day. So this is your opportunity to really get that strength component in. Shorter, 45 minutes, hour workouts. You're not out there killing it. You don't have to go out there and run for 2 hours to get more strength. You're working more aerobic capacity and not really helping the strength component. But it's built in the program. It's built in the off-season program that I've made, that I put out there for these groups. So if you're following them, you're doing great. I would avoid going through cherry picking just the easy stuff. Zone 2. I don't just do the zone 2 stuff. I don't want to do the strength. I don't want to do the speed work. I don't want to do the tempo work. It's just uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. Well, if you want to do better in 2020 than you did in 2019, if you don't do those components, you're not going to progress. You're not going to maintain. You're going to go down, where you want a little bit more of an up trajectory. So when you get to race-specific training, it's not as hard work. It's not a steeper climb. When you're down here, you have to be up here. It's a nice, smooth transition into your race-specific work. Like I said, picking on you, Traverse City people, a little bit more specifically, because you're going to have to go out there and you have to do the bike, and you want those power sets in there to make sure you got enough strength. You're going to be increasing your FTP throughout this off-season program if you're doing these right. If you're really putting into work in these strength sessions, you should have better fitness. You should have better VO2, you should have better FTP, maybe not huge, but you should be better than just maintaining. But we all have lives, we all have other stuff going on. So just make sure if you do have to leave some stuff out, I would definitely keep in the strength work, the speed work, and the tempo work, and maybe, keep in a long duration, either a bike or a run or something like that, just to keep the aerobic endurance up. But I would not just cut out everything and just do aerobic work. Make sure the strength stuff's important. It's in there for a reason, and make sure you're doing it. Got any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to help you out.